Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over the Artisan Type99 and all my thoughts and opinions around this mouse pad and if I think it's worth picking up over everything else. So I just want to say that Artisan did send this mouse pad out for review. That doesn't in any way, shape, or form affect my opinions of this mouse pad. As you know, I try to be as open and unbiased as possible when going over products. So let's get started. So first, I wanted to start with saying that this mouse pad is on par with every other Artisan mouse pad I've ever tried. O2, Heian, Raiden, Zero. They're all very similar in terms of quality, under the surface stitching, really good natural Rogers pour-on. Everything about this mouse pad just screams a high quality mouse pad, but this thing does something a little bit different than the other Artisan mouse pads do. And it's that Artisan mouse pads are known for being on the quicker side of mouse pads. No matter what anybody says, even a Zero Soft is still faster than most control pads. It's on the faster side of control pads. This is kind of a known fact. The O2 is a balanced but relatively quick mouse pad. The Heian, quick mouse pad. Shidenkai, quick mouse pad. Raiden, quick mouse pad. They're all really fast mouse pads. And when compared to something like the Type99 is probably the true muddiest mouse pad Artisan makes at the moment. And I don't know if they're going to go any slower than this because right now the dynamic friction is so low, but it doesn't feel like you're actually having a tugging feeling when using mice. Like right now we're using Lamzu stock feet. I really do enjoy Lamzu stock feet. They have nearly no flaws with them, and they're just really good for stock feet. And when you do a quick push test like this on the Type99, you can see how slow it actually is. The dynamic friction is very high, and when playing games like Soundspace Plus or Valorant or Overwatch, where you can really feel that muddiness and that drag when you're actually playing on the mouse. When you're actually playing on the mouse pad. This is going through multiple different sets of skates. I've tried several skates. I've tried the Artisan dots. They're really large but very thin dots. I've also tried here Super Glide V2s. These are my #1 pick for glass skates. Really nothing beats them, and they're still quick on this, but you do get a lot more stopping power. It makes it a lot better for control with the amount of speed that the Super Glides have. These here are the edge runners. I do really like dot skates, and even on an X-Off pad, as long as you're not pushing in, you're not going to really feel the difference between dots and pad skates on an X-Off pad. But that's if you have a really light grip. They're not really recommended for X-Off pads. And then I've also tried here, these are the Skypad dots. These are the Obsidian Pros. And these are just really slow. They give just as much friction as something like the Vortexes. They're really freaking slow. But most people are using pad skates. You're going to feel that dynamic friction be really, really, really low. You're going to feel that dynamic friction feel really, really, really high alongside the static friction, which is also just as high. You're getting a lot of static friction. There's a lot of force to get the mouse moving. And then once it's moving, it is pretty much glued to your desk. And I personally love that. This has been the perfect mouse pad for me for most games that I play. I don't really like speed pads, which is why I don't cover as many speed pads. I have a bunch sitting next to me. And I just prefer control pads. I prefer really slow mouse pads. This mouse pad's texture is very smooth. I would compare it similarly to a Saturn Pro in texture. The way I've been describing this mouse pad to people who haven't had a chance to try it yet is it is just the Artisan's version of a QCK or a GSR. It is just incredibly slow, and I also feel like it's their take at what the Saturn Pro is, because I feel like the Saturn Pro was a very high quality QCK or GSR, where after time it does slow down a bit, and you get that really nice controlled feeling. But the Type99 is just like the perfect control mouse pad for those looking for an upgrade from the GSR-C, from the GSR-1, from their QCK Heavy. This is the perfect upgrade for those coming from like a GSR-C or a QCK Heavy, where if they want to get an uptick in quality while keeping that same speed, it's just the perfect pad for that. So next I want to go into some comparisons. We're going to compare the Type99 to a couple of other mouse pads that I feel like fare really well to it. So first I want to start here with the GSR. This is the original GSR-1. I feel like this is the most fair comparison, as I've dumped around a year's worth of hours into this one mouse pad, and I've dumped around 300 plus into this mouse pad. So I feel like it's going to be the most fair comparison for these mouse pads. The GSR original, like I said, I've dumped over $1,000 into this one mouse pad, and it is really slow. And when compared to something like a GSR, and when you compare the Type99 to something like a GSR, you're getting a very similar speed. With that Artisan consistency and the Artisan build quality. Next, we're going to go on to the original QCK. This isn't the Heavy or the Plus. This is just the 2mm standard QCK. This mouse pad, this one is relatively new, and because it's thinner, it's also a little bit quicker than a standard QCK. But you're seeing that control is still really good, and the dynamic friction on the original QCK is a lot. And like I said, this is brand new. I bought this strictly for this video, but it is relatively new, so it's going to slow down a lot after time. And it's going to be, again, very similar to the Type99 in speed, but I feel like these are pretty much the perfect comparison mouse pads. We compare to one of Artisan's slower mouse pads. This is the Artisan Zero Soft in Dye Orange. You're going to see that the control on the Zero is a lot less. It's really quick. And like I said, this is on the faster end of control pads, where that dynamic friction is still really high, but the micro texture makes it very incompatible with sleeves, and it's still, like I said, really quick on its own. If you go from the Zero Soft to the Type99X Soft, again, you're going to lose that. You see how much dynamic friction you have and how much stopping power you have compared to the Zero, where this isn't a very scientific test, but you can really get the idea of how slow the Type99 really is. That stopping power is very good. And then second to last, we're going to go to the 2023 release of the Saturn Pro. The Saturn Pro is one of my most used mouse pads, but not this one, the one I'm going to pull out next. So its dynamic friction is a little bit higher than the Type99, but you're still getting a lot of that similar performance. And that's why I say this feels like Artisan's take on a Saturn Pro, which makes it a very easy comparison compared to an actual Saturn Pro. And then finally, we're going to compare it to the original 2022 release Saturn Pro. This is batch 2. My original Saturn Pro is really slow. The dynamic friction feels really similar, and the Type99 just feels like a slower and more consistent original Saturn Pro. The original Saturn Pro didn't have issues with consistency, but I've dumped around 500, 600, 700 hours into this one mouse pad, so the consistency isn't as good as it was brand new. But so far, with 300 hours plus into just the Type99, that consistency has just not been an issue for me. And I don't see it changing, knowing Artisan and Lethal Gaming Gear did massively improve the Saturn Pro with the V2. So this consistency hasn't been an issue like the batch 1. But yeah, that should be it for this review. Like I said, the Type99 has been probably the greatest mousepad I've ever used for mud control pads. This has replaced the Zero in my top 3 mousepads, which still is currently the Saturn Pro, the Infinity Control V1, and now the Type99. Hopefully they do release the XXL version of this. Artisan did just recently release a couple of XXL versions of their newer mousepads, or of their older mousepads, like the Raiden, the Zero, and I believe the Heian and O2 are next. There's an XXL version of that, squares. I don't like them. I don't like squares, but I do really like the Type99, and I like to be able to compare it against other 500 by 500 squares. I don't think the size is going to make that big of a difference. I will also be receiving a soft version of this mouse pad, so definitely check out my Twitter when I do receive the soft version of the original Type99. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Who would I recommend this pad to? Anyone looking for true control, actual mud, this is the perfect mouse pad for you. Like I said, it compares very well to a worn GSR or a worn QCK, where you get a lot of control, and it's not really balanced at all. This is in line with the InfinityMice Control V1, how that was my top mouse pad ever, and now the Type99 has just overtaken that by a lot. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more. I do have a couple of video releases to come over, like the Sprime PM1, and I want to go over all the Lamzu mice as well. So keep a lookout for those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
For these feelings that I got, baby, I'm about to. Goddamn, she makes it more difficult than